Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Crusader Kings III as we are playing as William the Conqueror, King of England. Alright, so this episode is going to be very much focused on domestic issues. After we've won our war, we now need to gain control of our new lands because the control in all of these counties is very, very low, which is reducing our taxes and levies that we're getting from those counties. So we're very much going to be focusing on domestic issues, getting control of the realm, improving relations with all of our vassals, and just getting ourselves in a position where we'll be able to further expand our realm a bit later. So I mentioned in the last episode that I'll be opening this episode with arranging some marriages for all of our children. We have quite a few kids here that need to have some betrothals and marriages set up. Before we do that though, we need to do one thing, because I'm going to forget otherwise. We need to move our rally point over here to England. I should have did this last episode before we moved those 3 knights and I think it was like 1,200 levies. We moved them from all the way over here to London. And if we had done the rally point here, then that's where they would have formed up. It would have been much quicker. It does take a little bit longer, based on, I think it's based on how far it is from your realm capital. So it would have took a little bit longer for them to assemble, but it definitely wouldn't have been anywhere near as long as it took for them to go all the way over here and sail across here. In addition to that, we could have saved some money, which, if you guys recall, we did have some money shortages there. I think it was like 27 gold for us to sail across. So it would have been far more efficient if I would have moved this rally point here last episode, but I didn't even think of it. So we're going to do it now, so I don't forget for the next conflict. Alright, so now that we've done that, we can go ahead and start arranging marriages. I did look at a few of the different options, and I have an idea of what we're going to be doing here. So we're going to arrange a marriage for the daughter of the petty king of Brittany. Petty king is essentially a duke. He's the equivalent of a duke. He just calls himself a king. And his heir is his daughter. His son is a bastard, so that's the reason why he's not the heir. Of course, he could legitimize him, but probably won't. He could have more children. He's 39 years old. But of course, her age is the one that matters here, since men can have children pretty late in life. So she could very well, at 28 years old, still have plenty more children. So they could end up having a son, and then he would inherit instead. But if they don't, or if they have more daughters, then she would remain the heir, which would result in their children, the children she had with the son that I'll be arranging the marriage with. I guess we go ahead and do that now, which is going to be Robert. So Robert, rules here in Normandy. And so if they have children together and she does inherit that land, then we would be combining Normandy with Brittany under one ruler. Now, you'll notice that there is a risk of them being inbred because apparently they are related. It seems like they're distantly related. So that could be a problem, but it probably won't be. So he also is going to give us an alliance, and let's go and send this off. And the important thing here is that if we want to have a period of peace and not have to worry about foreign affairs, foreign wars, then we're going to need to have some allies, some strong allies. So Brittany gives us an ally here on the continent to protect against France. So if France was to invade us here on the continent, then we'd have an army here, an allied army here to help us out in that conflict. So that will be our first alliance. We need many more. So the next alliance is going to be with the Holy Roman Empire. His primary heir, who's only 1 year old, has not been betrothed yet. Now, this is going to result in us having to wait 15 years before the marriage will happen. That's okay. We do get the alliance just from having them betrothed, and we're going to do this with our youngest daughter. I don't know how to pronounce this. Princess Agatha or Agath. I would say Agatha. Could be wrong there. Again, if I ever mispronounce anything, which I do consistently, I'm absolutely terrible with pronunciation, just post down in the comments the correct pronunciation, and I will try to correct myself in future videos. So Prince Agatha, she married a count here in France. So she was used in a foreign marriage, and it wasn't really an important marriage initially. However, her son, Stephen, would end up becoming a very important character in the history of England. He would become the king of England. So if you guys remember, I mentioned that our youngest son William's youngest son, Henry, would become Henry I, King of England, after his brothers had all died without an heir. He became the king after William Rufus. So when Henry became king, he did not have he had a son, but his son died. And so he tried to arrange for his daughter, Matilda, to take over after him. He got all of his vassals to agree to submit to her rule when he died, to make her queen. But unfortunately for Matilda, when her father died, Stephen, and Stephen, remember, is her son, would come into London and he would be crowned king. And overall, the nobles, not all of them, but many of them did support Stephen because there was the idea that it was better to have a man on the throne than a woman. It was very much about gender in this particular case. So many people did turn towards Stephen, but Matilda, Matilda was a badass, and she did not just give up without a fight. We know her in history as Empress Matilda, and she fought a very, very long civil war with Stephen, and just many people died and just ravaged England, and then nobody could get a conclusive result. So eventually what ended up happening was that they came to an agreement. Stephen would remain on the throne of England, but after he died, Matilda's son, Henry, would take over as king, and that is Henry II. And Henry II, some of you guys may know from previous campaigns, Henry II is my favorite English king. I've always loved studying Henry II, and he's just a really interesting character, very controversial character in some ways as well. But I really like Henry II. So I wanted to share that story and who she is. She is the mother of Stephen. So let's go ahead and arrange this alliance. I highly doubt he'll agree. No, he won't agree to that. That's okay. So that's our second alliance here in the Holy Roman Empire. And then our third and final alliance is going to be with the King of Denmark. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. We've got France surrounded, so we don't have to worry about them attacking our lands in Normandy. And then Denmark is going to help out if we find ourselves at war with Norway or Sweden again, which we could very well have happened, because remember, Norway, because we did the White Peace, the King of Norway does have claims on the throne of England. So this way, we'll have somebody to fight this war over here, so we don't, we're not in that same position where I'm trying to figure out whether we should, sail all the way across here and invade. We'll have a king to help us out in the area. So his son and heir, Prince Eric, is not married yet, despite being 17 years old. So we're going to offer him a marriage with one of our daughters, which we're going to marry him to Cecilia. Now, again, historically, Cecilia would, become an abbess, but we're not going to do that. We could force her to take the vows, and then she could, devote her life to the church. We're not going to do that, guys. She's too useful as an alliance. I doubt they'll do a matrilineal, but I always check just in case. All right, so this is a good alliance here. Let's go ahead and send that off. So those are our 3 foreign alliances, guys. Now, next, we're going to arrange a marriage for our second son, Prince Richard. And this is not going to be based on alliance. I'm going to instead focus on, we don't want to do arranged marriage, we want to find a spouse. Focus on getting a character that has some good traits that we could potentially breed into our family. Now, I haven't looked at who's available yet, so we're just gonna have to see. We'll do maximum age 25. Actually, instead of doing that, we'll just do age difference, like 5 years. That's fine. We want her to be fertile. We want her to be healthy, and I don't really care about alliances in this case. So what we're gonna want to do is have inheritable traits. So we're looking for some positive inheritable traits. And it doesn't look like there's any really good ones. These are all the level 1 physical traits, but that's okay. You can level them up later. So we want somebody who's smart and breed this, or hopefully breed this trait into our dynasty. And let's just see who's the best option here. So we have a baron's daughter, and I don't know if who's baron. Okay, see, he's in the Holy Roman Empire. She's Italian. Let's see what other options we have here. We don't want a lowborn, so we're gonna go ahead and say to not include those. Not lowborn. And that only leaves the 2 options. Okay, then I guess it's going to be Benedetta. That's who we're going to arrange the marriage with. Of course, Richard will lose some prestige, because this is, you know, not a good marriage. It's just a baron's daughter. But I think that this will be a good one for breeding. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go and send the proposal off, and then he'll get married, and we're gonna wait to marry William off, because I'm not totally sure what we're gonna be doing here with the Duchess of, well, she's called the Duchess of Mercia, but this is our most powerful vassal. Look at this, guys. She controls all of this territory. Pretty much everybody who's not a direct vassal in England is underneath this Duchess. She has 4 duchies. 4 duchies, guys. She's incredibly powerful. Now, when I first saw this, I thought about arranging a marriage with her. She's only 1 year old, so she doesn't have a betrothal or anything like that, and her betrothing the wrong person could cause us some serious issues. So I thought about arranging a marriage with her, with our youngest son, and of course that'd be Prince William Rufus. So I thought about arranging the marriage between them two, but if William doesn't become our heir, then we'll have a very powerful vassal here, you know, their child, who owns a massive amount of land and would have claims on our throne. So that doesn't seem wise. In fact, leaving a vassal this powerful in our realm doesn't seem wise, period. I think we need to, we're gonna have to cut her down to size. I know she's just a child, but this is the best time to take advantage of her being weak. She is currently involved in a war. We saw that here. This is an independence war, or excuse me, a liberty war, where they're trying to reduce the crown authority of the Duchess, and they would also get weak hooks against her. So this won't result in her actually losing any lands. You know, they would all still be vassals of her. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to deal with her, and I know that this is going to be tyrannical, but I feel like if we're going to roleplay this, William would not allow. There's no way William would allow well, she's not a Saxon. I was about to say Saxon, but she's Welsh. But it doesn't matter. She's Welsh, Saxon. She's not Norman. He would not have allowed somebody to have this much power. There's no way. He would have definitely taken her power. So even though it's going to be tyrannical, we're going to have to do something about this, guys. So we will not arrange that marriage, guys. No. We've got to deal with her. So I don't know if there's anything else I need to do before we get to play. Yes, there's one more thing I want to do, guys. So right now we're collecting taxes. We're going to go ahead and promote culture here in London and try and make London Norman, as it should be. Rightfully should be. So we're going to do that. And can we do a feast yet? We cannot do a feast. We are too broke. But we have money incoming. If you guys recall, we had a few things that we had done to get money at the end of the last episode. All right, so everybody is going to accept our betrothal and marriages, and here's one of those things. We did get money from the Pope. Asked for him for some money. He did grant that. So now we're at 250, and well, first let's do this. And this was the other way that we got a bit of money, is we ransomed off the prince here. So that's a nice 100 gold right there. All right, so these marriages have all gone through, and now we're going to go ahead and hold a feast. So the feast is going to reduce our stress by a little bit, so that'll be helpful. In fact, it'll put us back down to 0. But most importantly, it's going to increase the opinion of all of our vassals. That's the main reason why we're doing it. Again, we're trying to really focus on domestic matters and improve the stability of the realm. And I feel like this makes sense. You just won this big war, conquered England, became the king. I think you would throw some celebrations. So we're gonna have a feast, guys. Invite all our vassals and have a good time. So we did get all of these alliances. That guy was the one that we released from our prison for a hook. A feast, a cheery gathering. The guests are gathered in the great hall, lords and ladies from the near and far reaches of the realm. The mood is bright and spirits are high as the feast begins. Welcome everybody. So when you have feast, you do have a little button here. This is kind of cool. This wasn't in CK2. And you can see like everybody who's attending the feast, and the people who declined. So you can see who doesn't want to come to your feast. The conversation partner. This is Count William. Count William is one of our very powerful vassals. He owns 3 counties here in Normandy. So he was always a powerful vassal of ours. As one plate of food is replaced by the next, my Marshal Count William goes on and on about the blessings of family. And that was how we salvaged that mess. Are you sure I'm not boring you, my lord? So we can say, no, no, please do go on. And we'll say, and we'll get the had interesting conversation. And that'll give us, for 10 years, 1 plus diplomacy and 1 plus learning. Or we can say, why don't we talk more about you instead? And this will make it more likely we're going to get a friendship with the Marshal. And we're going to get a plus 20 opinion. Alright, there's not really anything trait-wise to determine what we go for. I think we're going to do the had an interesting conversation. We do want a friendship with that count, obviously. That would make sense. Let's speed this up. I didn't realize we were on speed. Speed 3. Feast, the dilemma. The feast is dwindling down, and I find myself deep in conversation with my inept vassal, Mayor Anfro. He inquires about my opinion on troop compositions, a subject he's deeply interested in. So we can say I could not care less. Obviously, we love talking about military matters, so we're going to say this. And that'll also improve our opinion with the mayor. So with once we get a little bit more money here, oh, there's a faction created against us. We're going to take a look at that. Disaster strikes. My lord, the wine. We cracked open the next barrel, and it has gone bad. It has all gone bad. The feast is still raging, but without the drink, the mood is sure to dwindle at a cruel pace. Of course, we gotta have wine. So we said the wine merchant should still be in town, in which we'll pay 65 gold. We'll get this modifier that will increase our prestige, and we'll prove the opinion with all of our guests. Or we say we will all have to pitch in, and then we won't have to pay as much, but we'll lose prestige. I mean, this is our big celebration. We're not cheap man. So yeah, I feel like this is also our duty. This is our feast. So yeah, diligent. We're gonna pay for this, even though I actually had plans for that money. But that's okay. So looks like our spouse's excellent stewardship encouraged development. So we're gonna get development faster. That's excellent. My guests depart. With everyone headed for their respective homes, I'm proud to say that the feast was a success. I have my wife, and I'm gonna pronounce this Mathilde. That's how we'll pronounce it. To thank for much of its success. I feel nothing but gratitude as she sees the last few guests off. So we got some prestige, and we improved opinion with all of our vassals. All right, excellent. A secret exposed. Oh lord. And so this is what I was talking about. This event happens all the time, and so you have to choose to arrest somebody, or you have to choose to lose the devotion level, which again, it takes a long time to get these devotion levels. It's just kind of a bummer that it fires so often, and it's such a big penalty. But yeah, we're gonna arrest her, and we'll just let her out. We'll go to the prison now, and can't do anything with her. That's interesting. Oh, she was arrested. She was put in prison. She did lose her conflict. All right, so that means that's going to reduce her overall power, since she's losing crown authority due to that conflict. Oh yes, I did forget. We want to take a look at the factions and see how things are going. Right now we have a peasant rabble. Some people unhappy in our... that's due to the popular opinion. They are unhappy with us. And then we have the... well, this is going to happen in 15 months. Okay, so we'll have to fight this rebellion off. And then here we have a Liberty faction, similar to what the Duchess just faced. They want to decrease our crown authority. The members of this are Count William, again, very powerful count, and another Count William. William's a very popular name for our people. So it's not quite at the threshold, and it's not a threat, but it's something that we're going to probably want to deal with. Yeah, probably want to deal with it sooner rather than later. How many daughters we still have left to marry? We still have Constance. Okay, Cecilia came of age. She has been betrothed already. She's going to be marrying the Prince of Denmark. As far as her education level, looks like she got level 2 insightful thinker, and it seems that she would have gotten even worse, maybe level 1, if it wasn't for our spouse, who helped her out a lot. Okay, so she did okay, but again, it's not really a big deal. And that faction that we looked at has already disbanded. Okay, interesting. And the Duchess has been released, her crown authority has been reduced, and the realm is at peace again. So our daughter has left us, moved off to Denmark to live with her new husband, and we have some very good strong alliances. Now, we could go ahead and arrange all the alliances because we're not going to be doing any more foreign alliances, so we don't have to worry about how this is going to affect things. So we could go ahead and arrange alliances with all of our vassals that we're related to, and there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to. It keeps them from joining the factions, so very, very good. And our niece here, yeah, why not? We'll arrange the alliance with her and with the Earl Odo as well. All right, so that'll make this go away here. We can rightfully imprison this spy master here. She's spy master of Earl. What'd she do? Let's take a look here. All right, I don't know what she did. Oh, fornicating. Yep, she fornicated. So a 3% chance to arrest her. There's no reason to do that. So what we're going to do is just say we don't need to be notified of that. We can change Prince Robert's contract. We're not going to do that. And is there anything else we need to be aware of here? William can get married, of course. We know that. All right, so we're going to go for right now. I have a few things that we're going to do, but we have to finish up. Oh yes, they're going to all accept these alliances. We have to finish up getting control of London before we're able to do it. So we just need this to play a little bit, so we can move our capital. That's what I'm waiting on. And it looks like we're at 90.6. Let's take a look at all of our council. We do have our spy master here. He's just not very good, but other than that, everybody's decent. Well, let me take that back. Chancellor's kind of cruddy too. So we have a couple counselors who just aren't as skilled, but they are all powerful vassals, with the exception of this one. Yeah, I really thought that giving him that land would be enough to get him to be a powerful vassal, but he is not, which is kind of a shame. Did we lose our hook on him? Looks like we did. Yeah, we had a hook on him from him being a non-believer, but that is no longer the case. So, two things. First of all, we can pick a perk, and secondly, we did sway the Archbishop here. It's still not very high. It's at 49, but that is enough for us to be getting the benefits here, so that's quite helpful. I think we're going to go ahead and I think we'll let it go one more time. Yeah, we'll sway him one more time, guys. Keep it nice and high. And let's go ahead and pick a perk. So we have two choices here. A man's home, controlled territory, defender advantage +5. Or strict organization, increased control and county progress gain. That's obviously the one that we're going to want to go on, because we are focusing on gaining control of our new territory, just as William did historically. So Count William has finished his task to increase control in London, so that's going to allow me to do a couple things. Looks like there's a conflict. One of our allies is calling us in, the King of Denmark. He has a war with the High Chieftain of Prussia. All right, so I mean we can agree so we don't get an opinion hit. If we declined, he would be unhappy. It's not that big of a deal, but I mean, there's no reason not to. I mean, we're not going to get involved in it, though. So we'll go ahead and accept it, even though we have zero plans on getting involved. We will not raise our armies up or any of that. So now that we have control here, we need to do two things. First, we need to increase control in another county. We're going to do Buckingham. And then the other thing we need to do is go ahead and take care of, well, first, let's go ahead and move our capital. So we're going to be moving our capital to London, and, oh, we can't change it while at war. Damn it, that's one thing I didn't think about. Shit. All right, so we're going to have to wait, guys. We have to be patient. We do have money, so we could call a hunt, but that's not what I want to do. We're going to use our money to create another men-at-arms regiment. Now, there's a lot of different choices here, and typically what you want to do is look at the counters, who they counter, and what your enemies are using when it comes to men-at-arms. So, because these first two, that's not why we got these. These, of course, were for the purpose of doing those sieges quicker, while the light horsemen were so that we could kill more troops once we won the battle, so on the pursuit. But for this third one, we're going to want to get something that counters the men-at-arms of our enemies. Now, you'll see that Scotland has light footmen. What I've seen is that the AI typically gets light footmen. That's the first men-at-arms regiment they get. I made the mistake in my very first campaign of getting the armored infantry, and the light footmen actually countered armored infantry. You wouldn't think that light infantry would, but these are like skirmishers. That's what they're supposed to represent. So they counter heavy infantry, and so therefore my heavy infantry did not do well against all the men-at-arms of the AI, because they always seem to get light footmen. So if we were to just look at all the potential enemies here, yeah, you're seeing that they do all seem to have light footmen. Let me see the French. They also have light footmen. Okay, so we're going to want to counter light footmen, and the counter to that is archers. So we're going to get bowmen here, and they counter the skirmishers. So we're going to create that, and we're going to go and increase their size as well if we can. All right, so let's go ahead and do that, and that's going to be it for right now. Yeah, I shouldn't have gotten involved in this conflict, guys, especially when I was trying to move our capital. I didn't even think about the fact that we wouldn't be able to do that. Hopefully this war is over soon. Again, we're not going to help them out. We could, but it would just, if we raise our army up, the amount of money that we're going to earn from sieges would not equate to the money that we're going to lose from having all of our men-at-arms and levies raised up. So we'll just wait for him to finish the conflict up, and then we won't be able to do what I was going to do until after that is over. That's all right. We can be patient. We could go on a hunt while we wait, or we can continue to increase our levy sizes, or excuse me, our men-at-arms sizes. Get these numbers up a bit higher, and I think that's what we're going to do. Let's go and we'll get these guys increased first, and then next we'll do the light horsemen again. To the cocky King William. Okay, so we have been burdened with your oppressive laws for far too long. No more. We are done paying you taxes. Once your coffers dry up and your larders are empty, you'll wish you had treated us more fairly. So we have this rebellion that we saw. The peasants are going to rebel here. So we can say, I guess I could grant a tax lien, which would reduce the control of all the provinces there, and of course we're going to get increased autonomy. Or we say, never. A peasant's lot is to serve the Lord, which I can't see William the Conqueror doing anything else. It's still going to reduce the control, unfortunately. But we're already at war, so... Oops. So war is declared. We will rally our troops and fight off these pretty small rebellions here. And... Oh, I think I just rose him up. Okay, that's alright. He did move to the neighboring province, which is good, because we shouldn't have rose him up there. So there's going to be a couple days here, and we're going to lead our troops. And we're just going to do these attacks, guys. Let's just get this over with. There's not a lot of troops here. I'll just get them destroyed real quick. And let's move over towards this one. Although maybe we should base this off of which one's going to be done sooner. I think we could probably get them both done. So let's go and attack these guys. Let's go and dismiss that. And we're just going to keep all the army together. I know that they're taking attrition, but that's okay. And that is actually the end. Looks like we captured the leader of this rebellion. Faction has disbanded the peasant rabble. Fantastic. So let's go and disband our army, since we have finished up that rebellion. So no longer have any factions now, which is fantastic news. Let's go and dismiss that. And again, just gotta wait for this conflict to be over. We could arrange another marriage. Remember, we do still have some children here that haven't married yet. Our second son, Prince Richard, has. And what's really unfortunate is because I was going to change up a few things here with our inheritance, but now we're not going to be able to do that until we get this fixed. So requires us to wait. We got William the Red, who still needs a marriage, and looks like we have another call to war from and we have another faction created from our ally in the HRE. So he has quite a few enemies. The problem here, yeah, man, that's a defensive war, so we have to accept it. All right, yeah, this is unfortunate. Hopefully he'll win it quickly. Let me just take a look and see how this war is looking. Seems that they're pretty equal overall. It's a little bit surprising, but yeah, they're pretty equal. And I've done this before. I go and look at the conflict when I get that offer, and I don't know if that just stops you from having to do it. It almost seems like it. I don't see an opinion penalty. And I don't know how you, yeah, that's interesting. Now, I've had this before, and I've always wondered if we end up getting the opinion penalty. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take a look, because it gets rid of the choice, where we don't have to decline. So I don't know if maybe after a certain amount of time we'll get the opinion penalty. It gives us time to, you know, offer to join his conflict. And if we don't, then we'll get the opinion penalty, or if that's just one way to completely avoid helping your allies. Let's find out. I think it'd be good to know. Chancellor fails to handle vassals. So now we lost 150 prestige. That's really unfortunate. And we have the Liberty faction again. They just keep on creating this faction and then disbanding. All right, and this is one of our Count Williams, because we have like 3 Count Williams. And Hamelin was not swayed. All right, that's unfortunate. What are the odds that we're gonna be successful at this? I guess that's what we should look at. It's a 58% chance. We'll do it one more time. We'll try. Yeah, I want to get that opinion nice and high. So this war is going well. He's already at 39%. We got attentive care, so that is going to increase our health by quite a bit. All right, awesome. And that is from our spouse. What I didn't see is if we have a physician. We do not. All right, let's see if there's anybody in our court who we could hire. This is based on learning, so we just want somebody with a high learning, and it does improve opinion with whoever we give it to. We have a courtier here who has decent learning. We're going to see if there's anybody a little bit better, though. There's another 14 there. Oh, this is our son. We're not going to make our son be the physician. All right, so it looks like that was our best option, is to grant it to... Oh, wait a minute. I read this wrong. She's the one. Our half-sister is the one that has the 14 learning. All right, well, we'll make her the physician then. She'll be the court physician. Costs a little bit of money, but she'll be pleased. Now, the court physician is only important, you know, if you get sick. But we'll have someone appointed, so we don't have to try and hire one if we do get sick. All right, so it looks like somebody else might have joined that conflict, and now there's a lot more troops here. We'll have to see how he does. This could end up going against him now. Duke Frederick converted to Anglo-Saxon from Dutch. All right. So again, this is our steward, and that's fine. I still want him to be a powerful vassal, though. Again, I might have to give him some more land in order to do that. I don't really have any more land to grant him, though, unfortunately. We could go on a hunt. Yeah, let's go on a hunt. Let's increase our prestige. We don't really need to, but the stress gets a huge reduction because we're diligent and brave. But again, we don't really need to. But you don't just go hunting because you need to. Go hunting because it's fun, right? So, still promoting culture here. And you know what, guys? I think... Where is the control? Did he finish that and I missed it? Yeah. Oh, the rebellion. That's what happened. When the rebellion happened, he was removed from increasing control here. All right. So that whole time, he was not doing that. That's okay. So, felling a beast. You would think it a creature from myth. Perhaps a god disguised in animal form. It was the largest hart I'd ever seen. Even after the beast was wounded, the chase lasted half a day. It is still an imposing sight, lying dead before me. A hart is, you know, a male deer. Now, it's typically used for any deer. I think historically, though, a hart only applied to like the what are they, like red deer? I think historically it only referred to that type of deer, which is a deer that is all over Europe. So we can say its head will look beautiful in my great hall. We'll get the hunted trophy, which will increase our prestige. Or we can say it shall be a trophy for my brother, and Count Robert would get the trophy instead. We're going to say this one, increase our prestige. Definitely a man who would want that up on our wall. Returning from the wild, the hunt is drawing to an end. We mount our horses to leave the hills behind as the servants prepare the hart and other game for the journey back. In spite of our difficulties along the way, the hunt went very well. So we got some prestige from that. Fantastic. We're moving closer towards being illustrious, which will increase our secular opinion by +10 and give us an extra knight. So the war is almost 50% done. Yeah, it sucks that another ally came here against him, which is going to make the war take longer. So yeah, quite unfortunate, since we got to wait till that damn war's done, and we are aging. We're 48 years old. Yeah, I really wish I went ahead and joined that conflict. Compliments. To make my Archbishop Hamelin more susceptible to my attempts at approaching him, I include a compliment in my next missive to his court. I'll be sure to mention his unmatched people skills, or I'll keep it short and professional. So we do this, we have a possible outcome of increased opinion. Yeah, sure. Why not? So, one of the interesting things about playing as William for a roleplay series is because of his traits, the ambitious, the diligent, and the brave. You essentially play William like you would, you know, any other time, even if you weren't role-playing, because essentially he's like a player. This is how a player would play. You know, players are very ambitious and you know, brave and diligent. Obviously, they want to do the right thing for the realm. So it almost feels like the roleplay series isn't a roleplay series when you have a character like this. I find with the roleplay series that they become most interesting when you're playing with like an incompetent character, or one with very interesting traits. So, you know, if we played as our lazy son here, that'd be interesting. Or perhaps if we were to play as a callous, just shy character, that's where you get some really interesting roleplay choices. An unworthy challenge, and this is a wandering adventure. At first I thought the simple footman a fool for stepping onto the training field. Although Adelard seemed no threat at first, it quickly became clear that he would be unable to stop his wild and vicious strikes from hurting me. Disarming him suddenly became a matter of life and death. I tried not to show my relief when his sword finally hit the ground. Oh wow. Well, 18 prowess, yeah, that makes sense. I could use more people like you. He'll join our court and thus he'll become a knight. This peasant and my soldiers will get a lecture on honor. Okay, so then we'll gain piety and prestige, or I'll strike him down where he stands, and we'll gain dread. Yeah, that just doesn't feel like what we'd do here. Not at all. I think we would respect his ability and make him into a knight. Proud of him. Good job, man. All right, any notifications here we need to be aware of? No. Pretty much good to go here. And we did sway the Archbishop, so we're now done swaying him. We can work on swaying somebody else. Like, probably our Chancellor here, which, again, we've had some problems with him. Actually, you know what? Let's sway him, because he has a lower opinion of us. Or, excuse me, he has a higher opinion, but he has more lands, is what I meant to say. He's more powerful. So let's go and sway him. Work on him next. Alright, excellent. So, 54%, so he is still winning the conflict, which is surprising. It looks like he defeated all those enemy armies, or they retreated and they're focusing on his capital now. Or focusing on taking back his capital is what I meant to say. So still 57%. We got another martial perk unlocked. So let's go with, probably go with a hard rule. Faction military power threshold for vassals plus 20. So it'll be harder for them to throw the ultimatum at us. Overall, that perk tree just makes it a lot easier to rule your realm. Yeah, it sucks because I was going to do this war with her. How old is she? She's 5. We still got plenty of time. And I don't know if it would have been a war. We were going to try and probably revoke titles. Again, we were going to go with the getting the tyranny because I think it makes sense for our character. But I didn't want to do it until I finished up what I wanted to do here. We're still waiting for this damn conflict to be over. Our child benefits from our wife is tutelage. Constance is now more likely to receive a good education. So that's why you often want to give one of your kids to your wife, from what I've seen. All right, so we now have another call to war. Did we get the opinion penalty for declining? You do. Yep, you do get it. Okay, I was wondering if it was a way to game it. It is not. So it's a liberty conflict. Yeah, this is really unfortunate, guys, because yeah, we're gonna have to turn this down because we've got to get a period of peace just for a second. It doesn't have to be that long. I just need enough time to be able to move my my capital. It's one of the negatives of having allies, though, is they're going to expect you to help them in their conflicts. So we did get a health boost. Awesome. That was from our wife. So the spousal, again, they're not really events, but little, I don't know what to call them, notifications down here are very, very helpful. And we promoted culture here. Fantastic. So now the culture has changed to Norman. All right, excellent. So now we no longer get any penalties here. So what we want to do with him now is probably work on development here. Yeah, let's work on development. Try and increase London's total development, which is currently at 13, so it's about mid-range at this point. We want to get that much, much higher. And then the development spreads to all the surrounding counties, whether they're your county or somebody else's, even a neighboring enemy. So that'll kind of spread out. If we increase it here, it'll spread out to the rest of our counties. A fine balance in the heat of combat, decisiveness is often what separates victory from defeat. When the time comes, I know I will act. So this is about getting another military trait. We already have Holy Warrior, and that's just not very good for the region that we're in. We're just not going to be fighting non-Christians, I don't think. So we can get a new one, and this one is I will strike and never relent. Aggressive attacker. Enemy fatal casualties are plus 25%. I stand my ground. This is unyielding defender, which reduces our own casualties, but because we're ambitious, we can't do that. Or I will remain alert, acting as the given situation requires. And we'll get flexible leader. Well, I really feel like, as brave character, sometimes brave characters, are highly aggressive, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you would be. He has a very good martial though, so he's intelligent and he's diligent. So I really feel like it doesn't matter which one of these we go with. I think either would be fitting, and they're both really good. Causing more casualties to the enemy is obvious. So that one's really good. But you know what? The flexible leader is fantastic. 50% reduction in the defensive advantage that your enemies will have. So for instance, if they're on a hill, then they get a big advantage bonus. They'll only get 50% of that bonus if you have flexible leader. So it's actually a solid bonus here. But I just feel like as William, despite the fact that I kind of want this one, just knowing William, I feel like we should be aggressive attacker. We're here to do some damage. So he has finished up increasing our control here, and it's going to result in us getting more money. Let's go ahead and get him moving to a new location, although I don't know where he's going yet, so let's just figure that out first. Look at which one we want to go to. Let's go. I'm looking at the development. Let's go to Winchester. Yeah, that's where we're going to go. Let's increase our control there. And we are slowly increasing control in all these areas anyways. That's increasing by 1 per month, even without our marshal doing it. And of course, that's because of those perks that we have that help us out quite a bit. We have some money. Let's go ahead and spend it. It's burning a hole in our pockets. We're going to go ahead and continue building up our army. So let's go ahead and increase up. I think we're going to increase these guys in size rather than getting a new one. Let's make them bigger. And do we have enough money for this? We do. We're just going to go and get them all up to the full 500. Fantastic. All right, so that will result in our men-at-arms costing a lot more. The war is finally over. He just needs to do the treaty. There we go. So we're finally at peace. Thank God we were able to do this in this episode, because I was kind of worried that we weren't going to get to. That war was taking a little while. So what we got to do is we want to move our capital here to London. But before we move to London, we have to do one thing. So we had talked about doing things kind of the way they were done historically by William. Now, historically, William did not have Robert become the King of England. He inherited the Duchy of Normandy, which he's already set to do because he's our direct heir, our primary heir, and the Duchy of Normandy is our primary title. So that's the reason why he's going to inherit that. Well, it's not really our primary title. I should take that back. Our primary title is, in fact, King of England, but it's where our realm capital is. So that's why he's going to inherit that duchy. And man, he's all beat up. Was he part of a war or something? He got wounded. Not sure what happened to him. Hopefully he doesn't die soon. But anyways, he became the Duke of Normandy. And so if we move our capital over here to London, then I won't be able to give him the Duchy of Normandy where he has his counties. He has 2 counties here. And the reason why is because you cannot give, when you have our type of inheritance, our type of succession law, you cannot give any titles to one of your children that was not set to inherit that. So what's going to happen is when we move our capital to London, Prince Robert here would instead be set to inherit the duchy here, which is which one's this one called? The Duchy of Essex. Oops, my bad. Over here. I clicked on F. Got opened up the character finder. So he's going to instead inherit that duchy, and he wouldn't inherit the Duchy of Normandy. So before we move our capital, we have to give him the duchy, which I've been wanting to give away one of these duchies anyway, because we're getting a penalty because we have more than 2. So we're getting, I think it was a negative 15 opinion penalty. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, too many duchies, negative 15 opinion. So we're going to go ahead and give him the duchy. And then, if we wanted to, we could disinherit him and instead have somebody else be one of our other sons be our primary heir. And we'll look at that in a minute, and I'll tell you guys what the the penalties to that and the reasoning behind that. So we want to give him the Duchy of Normandy. So he will get all of our vassals that are here. That's a little bit unfortunate because, I mean, that would result in Count William, who's our current marshal and is really good. I don't think he'd be able to be our marshal anymore. That'd be a real shame. But nothing really to be done about that. And then, of course, we have our brother here. He's our spy master, but he sucks, so that'd be actually helpful getting rid of him because he's also a powerful vassal. And then I want to say that there was one more here, the count here, and he is our chancellor. So essentially, we're going to be losing our entire council, so we'll have to redo our council. That's okay, because 2 of them are actually terrible counselors. They're not good at their job anyway. They're just, this guy's just average. But we do lose our marshal, so that's unfortunate. But it is what it is. We're fine with that, guys. So let's go ahead and grant him this title, the duchy, and he will get all those vassals, the 3 vassals. So we're going to grant him that title. And now we'll have to find a faction disbanded. Okay. Oh, because one of those vassals was probably the leader of that faction. So now we need to find a bunch of counselors. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do what I've been wanting to do. We're going to go ahead and move our capital to London. Beautiful. So now we're going to get a lot more money there because that's our capital, and then this one's not going to be as useful. And we could give that to the control of our son, but we'll keep it since... Oh, we actually can manage another holding. All right. Interesting. That's because probably our stewardship. Yeah, higher stewardship. Okay, so now we've moved our capital here. We've gotten rid of one of our duchies, and we can see that who's going to inherit now. Of course, he's going to get the kingdom. So Prince Robert is going to get the Duchy of Essex. So I don't think it's adjusted yet. All right, maybe it has. I think he might still end up getting the duchy, but we'll keep. We'll probably keep London. Yeah, we'll keep London. We wouldn't keep London, actually. Yeah, he gets Middlesex, I think. You know what? I think it just updated. All right, so we had 2 things happen here. So let's go through them. So we have infiltrators. This is trying to sway him, which we don't need to sway him any longer because he is not a direct vassal. We also need to get our council positions filled in. Has come to my attention, and this really doesn't matter because we're going to say it's not worth it, and we're going to sway somebody else. So with the call to war here, who is he fighting? Is he going to win this war? I think that's what matters. I think so. It's going to be a close one. But yeah, I think he'll probably win it. What is the war over? And it is a defensive war. We're going to accept it. And I'm not going to raise our armies up, though. Let's go and get these council positions filled out. Since we lost all 3 of our counselors. And so we're going to have 3 new powerful vassals. So now you'll notice that with that one move, everything we've been planning has worked out perfectly. With just doing that, because we got rid of 2 terrible counselors that happen to be powerful vassals. And so now Duke Frederick is a powerful vassal, which that's what we wanted. And now he's a 23 on the stewardship, so it's actually higher. He loves us as well, and he's also intimidated by us. So great steward here. Everything we'd want in a steward. And he is now a powerful vassal, which is fantastic. In addition, that Duke of Cornwall, which has the very good diplomacy that we appointed, Duke William II, he is also now a powerful vassal, so everything has worked out exactly how we wanted it. So we're going to appoint him to the counselor position. We can now make Prince Robert, our son, the marshal, even though he's not great. But we're going to go ahead and appoint him. We could give somebody else that position as well, but we'll give this position to our son. And then we need a spy master. I don't know how good this guy is. You know what? He is so cruddy. And this is the Earl of Somerset. I don't really care if we piss him off, and he likes us anyway, even though he doesn't. Even though he wants a seat on the council, he still likes us. So I don't think we're going to give him the position. We're going to try and get an actual decent intrigue here for our spy master. And I think we're going to do the Earl Robert. He has the highest. He's also old, so if we need to appoint it to somebody else, then that would be perfectly fine. Because if we piss him off, then he's not going to be in this world for much longer. So yeah, I think we're going to appoint him. Another good option would be our half-brother, Earl Odo. That'd be not as good of an option, though, because this guy likes us a lot more. Probably because we gave him that earldom. Alright, so just like that, we have drastically improved our council. Overall, the council is much better in every category with the exception of Marshal. Our Marshal is currently worse. But the other three are very good. And it's unfortunate because we do want the council to, we do want the control to increase faster. So having a cruddy Marshal is not great. But we already increase control pretty fast. Okay, so now that we've done that, we finally dealt with these issues here. Now we are open to doing what I've been wanting to do. Look at all these damn allies we have. We have so many allies. I want to take her titles. So, no, we're only going to be able to take so much from her before we piss off everybody. But yeah, I want to reduce her overall power. She's just too damn powerful. Just way too powerful. So yeah, we're going to have to do something about that. Now, there's a couple different things we could do. We could just straight up imprison her, and this would, of course, piss off her and her family. It is an act of tyranny. We gain dread from that, though, so that's helpful. 65% chance of success. That's not great. Yeah, not good at all. I mean, it's more likely to succeed than fail. But we'd have to fight her rather large army. Again, we would obviously defeat her, but yeah, I don't know if that's the best way to do that. We might just want to just straight up revoke her title. And which one do we want to revoke, I guess, is the question. It's quite the loud helicopter that just went overhead. If we take these duchies, we also get the earldoms. So that's what we should really base this off of, is if she has earldoms there, or if we're just taking a county, or excuse me, if we're just taking a duchy, that's not going to be as useful. All right, so there's the two earldoms up here that we'd get. These two. This one's not that far away. And then there's the two here. So this is going to result in tyranny. That's perfectly fine, though. She also might become a rival of ours. So which one do we want to do? Let me just take a look here. So this is the Duchy of Mercia. I don't know if we'll have all of her vassals go with us, too. I would assume so, that we get control of all those vassals. But I think that's the one we're going to do. I think the Duchy of Mercia is the best one to revoke from her. And I feel like this is perfectly fitting for our character, that William would not allow. Look at our stewardship. Yeah, we're doing really good there. But yeah, I do not think that William would allow this Welsh woman to have so much power. There's just no way, absolutely no way. So I think it's fitting. Also, I don't think William cared much about being tyrannical. So let's go and revoke the title. The Duchy of Mercia. And it looks like she would, in fact, not accept. So she would rise up in rebellion, and we'd have to fight her. It might be better to then imprison her, because we have a better chance of imprisoning her. Now, the problem with imprisoning her is that we're going to get double the tyranny, but we might be able to avoid a war, though, so that would be one way to do it. We could also attempt to find a secret, but she's not going to have any secrets because she's 5 years old, so that's not an option. Let's just imprison her. That's the way we'll do this, and we'll see if it succeeds. Let's hope it does. I don't know if there's any way we can increase this at all. Nah, probably not. All right, so let's go ahead and try and imprison her. Let's see if it works. We might find ourselves in a civil war. Yes, we will find ourselves in a civil war, and in addition to that, we have also pissed off Duke Frederick. Oh, that's a bummer. I thought he was our friend. Alright, so that's a shame. So we're going to have to rally the troops. Yeah, that's a real bummer. We did all that for the steward. But this is worth it. I feel that this is definitely worth it. So we need to find another steward. I suppose we can do Earl Robert. Yeah, we'll do Earl Robert. Both of these guys are equal. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's do Earl Robert. So he'll be our new steward. And what I love is that when you assign, change up the positions here, unlike CK2, they keep doing the job that they were assigned to doing. I hated that in CK2. Every time you change positions or somebody dies, then you got to go back and assign them to what you had the previous guy doing. So this is going to be a big army, guys. Excuse me, a big war. We'll just click on this here, and we'll see exactly how many troops we face. So in total, we're looking at probably about 5,000 men, which is around what we have. But we have lots of allies that we can pull into this conflict. So let's go ahead and do that now. We can embrace English culture if you wanted to. Huh. So that's how this works. I was curious how this was going to work. Every Norman or French vassal in England will become English. Every Anglo-Saxon county in England. Ah, well that's bummer because we changed our realm capital. But I think it might just go ahead and do the realm capital. No, actually it doesn't. Okay, and we can do this because our realm capital is in England. Yeah, I think we should embrace English culture. Let's do that, guys. Awesome. We have an event here. Norman no more. The time when we Normans consider France our homeland has long since passed. Our children are born here, surrounded by Saxons, and to them, Normandy will ever be blurred line beyond the misty shores of Brittany. And as we make some of the local customs our own, so too the legacy of our culture spreads throughout the Saxon lands, giving birth to a new English identity. Alright, awesome. So that's how it works. I was curious. Alright, we need to raise up our armies here, guys. We also are going to need to, well, we don't have any money. Never mind. I was going to say we need to decrease our army size. So now we are English. I don't know if anything changed here. What's our fascination? We don't have one. We have to pick one. Because we were working on Bayless, weren't we? Yeah. In fact, it looks like we actually gained from this. Yeah, because we didn't have Bayless before. All right, well, that's awesome. So we have to find a new one to go after. We can do this one, the Armored Horseman. So the Heavy Horseman. Heavy Cavalry, I should say. Chronicle Writing. That'd be a decent option as well. We have Communal Government. That'll allow us to develop higher. Again, we're nowhere near that development. Alright, let's do the Arched Saddle. Although it's not letting me pick here. Maybe because we just... Yeah, we don't have a cultural head yet. We got to give it a second. Okay. Let's go and turn this down a bit. And also, we're going to call our allies in this conflict. Whichever ones will accept, I suppose. You do not lead in Pomeranian conquest. Oh. Can't call Brittany in. Huh. Interesting. So this, I think, is to call them into... Is it calling them into... Yeah, that's strange. Not entirely sure why he's getting called into this conflict rather than our conflict. Alright, well, let's go ahead and do this one. Call in Denmark. So we're going to bring Danes into England. We can also call on the HRE, and that's exactly what we'll do. So we'll have our two powerful vassals coming to help us, so we'll be able to get this rebellion knocked out a little bit quicker. So we got 5 days left to gather up here. Unfortunately, guys, it is almost the end of the episode. Real shame that it's ending here. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to just go ahead and charge after them and try and defeat their troops? I think that's what we'll do. And then we know that she's going to be in her capital. So then we'll split our troops up and go after the capital. Now, we don't want to attack from there, because that would result in us going across the river. So not the best way to do this. Instead, we should probably go this way. We're going to keep all our troops together for right now, but we are going to split them up here after this battle, as we did before. Looks like the Emperor has agreed. We'll see if he comes. Just because he agrees to join the war doesn't necessarily mean that he'll send his troops in here. I'm so irritated that Duke rebelled from us. After all I did for him. He had such a high opinion. He must have been allied with her or something like that. Although I don't know how he would have been. Oh, wait a minute. And we don't want to attack across there. We'll have to go this way. And they are running from us now. Maybe we should go this way and try and stop these two armies from being able to join. Of course, we are taking attrition here because of our high number of troops here compared to the supply. We'll see if we can get here before them. It doesn't look like they're going to move there now. So again, I'm trying to keep these two from... Oh no. We have an upset Baron. I'm trying to keep these two from being able to join together. These are marshlands here. And Constance, excuse me, and she did pretty well. Charismatic negotiator. Excellent. I think our wife helped with raising her, if I'm not mistaken. We have to arrange a marriage for her. We still also need a marriage for William. As far as our other daughters, we know she's married and she's married. So we have one daughter and one son left who need marriages. We'll take a look at that after this conflict, I suppose. Yeah, I'm curious why we can't pull him into this. Oh, okay. I'm a dummy. I have to do it right there. I had to change the war. Okay, that was just me being silly. So he'll come into this conflict now too. We're going to let that get accepted. And let's go across here. So we're not going to get a river penalty. And we're going to see if we can't attack one of these two armies. Okay, so he has joined the conflict, as you'd expect. And we did sway Count William. I did forget to end that swaying of him. That's my bad. But it looks like there's no council members that don't like us. Let's see if we have any factions. We do not have any factions that are going against us because everybody who was probably going to be in a faction has joined this conflict against us. So as far as who we want to sway, we'll just sway the guy with the lowest opinion, or what we could do is take a look and see if there's any vassals who really don't like us here that might not be as powerful. I mean, everybody likes us. We're a very well-liked ruler, except for our brother, the bastard. Let's sway him. Make him like us. You will like me. I demand it. All right, so our army is here. These guys are stuck going this way, so I think it would be best to get this battle going. Yeah, that's the way we're going to want to do this. We'll destroy that army first, and then we'll attack this army. He might come and help, but I don't know if he'll be able to get there in time. All right, so he's going to now flee, or at least 300 did. So this will be the last thing we do, the Battle of Stamford. And should be done here in a second. There we go. We did capture an enemy combatant, maybe a couple enemy combatants. And let's just take a look at the details, see what our knights did. Killed a couple guys here. I want to see who killed him. It was our brother, Earl Odo, has killed this knight. Alright, so we won the first battle. That has increased our war score by 9%. And now we got to go engage this army. And then after that, we'll go siege down the capital with one army. And then the other army, we'll have them roam around, defeating any armies, and maybe help out with sieges as well. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this episode, ending with our tyrannical war here. Where, I mean, it was a 60-something% chance, but I think it is the best way to do it, because this will now allow us to arrest her, and then we could just seize those titles from her that way. I was trying to avoid the war with the 0% chance of success. I felt like it was better to go with a 60-something% chance. But the one problem with this, though, is we take the tyranny penalty, the -20, for trying to arrest her, and then if we take a title, I don't know if because she rebelled, I think that's breaking the law. So I think we'll have the right to take her titles, or take one title anyway, after that. But if we don't, if it doesn't give us that right, then we would get another hit on the tyranny. But again, everybody likes it so much, it's not really a problem having tyranny, and plus we have the dread too. So yeah, it's overall, dread works well with dealing with tyranny. But unfortunately, this is the end of the episode, guys. We'll have to deal with this rebellion in the next one. I don't know if our allies are going to send any troops. It looks like Brittany is, so we can see that. And then the Holy Roman Empire is not going to. Yeah, I don't think the HRE is going to send troops. Not surprising. But perhaps the Danes will. All right, I think they were going to, but then they had to deal with this. It looked like they were coming. But then they had to deal with an enemy army at their capital here. So maybe they'll come too. Now, we don't need them. It just would make the war go a little bit quicker, guys. So that is going to be the end of the episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. I do read and reply to all comments. Sometimes it takes me a little while to do so, especially when we have a series that's getting a lot of views like this one, and there's a lot of comments. But I do read and reply to them all. And I do enjoy talking to you guys and hearing your feedback. I do hope to see you guys on the next episode, and thanks for watching.